Hello guys, welcome to our fourth tutorial of this HTML crash course. In this tutorial, we are going to look at how to create links, and then we are also going to look at tag attributes. But first, we are going to start with links. So, why do we use links, or how do we use links? Well, we actually like the word itself. We use links to, if you want to create links to our website. It can be if you want to maybe link an image, or maybe like when you are creating or a gallery or something. So if you want to create a link to your some images, you can use a link tag, or you can use a link. Maybe if you want to link to a different website, or we can use a link to link our HTML file together. Like if you know by now, or if you didn't know, like a website is actually just a bunch of file links together. So to link those files, you have to create a link. So yeah, and to create actually a link, we use a link tag, which is an a tag. Then this is how we write it: an opening tag and then a closing tag. And if you look in between here, there is an add an href and then a hashtag. So this is actually an attribute, and we will talk more about it when we move on to attribute. But for now, what you need to know is, when you're writing a link, or when you want to create a link, you just open a link tag and then close it, and then everything that is between that HTML will consider it as a link. So we'll move on to attribute. And then what are attribute? Why do we use attribute? We actually use attributes to provide information about an element. And if you were listening in our first lesson, I told you that you might find some developer that will call it an element, or that might say a tag. And when you are talking about elements or tag, we actually just mean the same thing. So to provide information about a tag or an element, we use attribute. And here, like all tags can have an attribute. Doesn't matter, it can be an h1, it can be a p tag, it can be an image tag. It can have an attribute. So to actually add an attribute to an element, you place it within an opening tag or a start tag, an opening tag. And then one thing that you also need to know, whenever you are writing an attribute, an attribute should always consist of a key and then the value pair. A key, we can be, or some may refer to it as an attribute name, and then the value, which is an attribute value pair. So let me say, if you want to add an attribute to a div, you want to give it an ID of wrapper. So ID, this is a key, and then wrapper, that's a value, and then the value should always be written between this quotation. So this is actually the format of how you can write an attribute: a tag name, which can be an h1, and then an attribute name, which can be a title, and then an attribute value, or a key, or a value, which can be about my company, and then this is the content, and then the tag name. You close it off with a tag name. So this is a format to add an attribute: a tag name, a key or attribute name, and then in between your quotation, that's where you add your attribute value or your value. So that's a format. That's really just everything that you need to know whenever you are dealing with attribute. So yeah, was just a quick introduction. I just wanted to give you like a slide, and then explain a couple of things to you before we actually move on to our practical part, where I'm going to actually show you how to write or how to create links and then add attribute to our elements or tag. So let's move on. And to actually get started, let's just find our folder. since I like to keep everything in order, I'll keep my file in here, which is like tutorial, HTML class course, and then introduction. So let's actually open up, but if you can like open up a new notepad, but I just want to use a file that we already used before, so I'm going to just open that up with a notepad, and then open this in our browser. This is our browser. Let me just close this off, and then this is our notepad. So I like to align it like this so that you don't have to go back and forth. I just like to align them like that. So this is our HTML format. So we come in between our body tag here. So let's just write some HTML. So let's say we want to add an H1 here, an H1. So this is just, let's say, about us, and then you close it, H1. So this is an H1, and then this is, let's say, a P tag, and then open it and then close it. So let's just say this is our about us page. So if you want to learn more about us, please visit this page. Please visit this page. And I don't want everything to go to the other side. Let me just drop this down and then align it. And if you remember, I told you when we were talking about what are line break and spacing, that even if you in your text editor you put it down or you put extra spaces here, it won't show up on your browser. So let's just run it so everything can look clean. So if you can save or Control S if you want to go fast, and then come to our browser and then refresh. As you can see, we have our HTML here, and then I also just want us to add a couple of things. Let's just add an H2, open it and close it, and then follow us, and then close it, H2, and then close it. And down here I just want to create something like let's say a P, and then this can be Instagram, and then you close it off with an H2 and then close this off. Okay, this is a P, and then this is an H1. So now let's actually create links and then add attributes to it. And to create a link, let's say we want this visit this page. We want this visit this page. We want to link it to a different page. And to do that, like I say, we can create a link, and then close it off, and then come here, everything that you want it to be a link, and then H A, and then close it off, close off your link tag, and actually add, and everything that is between your opening and closing HTML will consider it, and then add href, and then a quotation. Let's just add a hashtag here, and then Control S to save. Or come here and save, and then come into your browser and then refresh. And as you can see, this I hope you can see that it's now changed to a blue color, and then once you hover on it, it will be like a pointer there, or like a selector. You can actually click on it. So that's everything that is between that. HTML will look at it as a link, so that's how you create a link. And then if you actually link on this, if you click on it, it should have taken you to a different page, but since we just have an hashtag here, it's not taking you anywhere. I just wanted to show you how to create a link. And then we can actually add a couple of here, let's say followers. So you actually want somebody click on this a link here, when they click on it, it should take them to our Instagram page. And to do that, we come in here, we can actually add everything in here into a tag, opening and closing, and then just add an href in your opening href, which is the source or the page where you are linking, and then we want actually to link it to our HTML page. So https then instagram.com /Kandowa tag. That's actually our HTML, our Instagram page, which is Kandowa tag. So Control S to save, or come here and save, and then refresh. As you can see, this is now a link, and as you can see, if you click on this, it should take them to our Instagram page. As you can see, it's loading, and then it's actually taking you to our HTML. Let's just close this off. And then, as you can see, it has taken you to our Instagram page. This is our Instagram page. Let's just make that a bit bigger so you can see. This is our HTML page. But then if you look, you see it open our Instagram page on the same tab where you were viewing our website. And sometimes you don't want, if you link to a different website, you don't want the user to leave your website. You want them to open that link on a different tab, and then your website will still be open. And to do that, we can actually add an attribute to this, to our link here. And like I said, we come in between, within our opening tag, we can add an attribute there, which is target. That's our attribute name, and then our attribute value, which should be blank. So we want this, once they click on it, we want it to target a blank page or a blank tab. So Control S to save, and then open your browser. Let's just go back to our file, refresh, and then click on this. If yes, you can see it open up a new tab, which will open our Instagram page, but our website is still open on a different tab. It just open up a different tab. So that's how you should do it. You add an attribute, which is a target, and you want, once the person click on this link, you want it to target a different tab. You want to open on a different tab. That's an attribute. You can actually add an attribute here, which is like a title in our H1 about us. Let's just open this up again, align it, and then our about us, we want to add an attribute, which is our title. You can actually add an attribute, which is title, attribute name title, and then a value in within our quotation. This is say about our company. That's our attribute value. This is the title, attribute title or key, and then this is our attribute value or just value. So Control S to save, or come up here and save and then refresh. As you can see with your bare eyes, you can't see it, but if you hover on about us, you will see there's a box here which is saying about us. You see, it's not happening if you hover here. If your mouse is here, it's not showing you anything. If you are here, it's not showing you anything when you are here. But once you hover on about us, you see the box about us. So that's because you add an attribute to it here. You can actually add another to our p tag. Just so to see it, we can add an attribute to our p tag. We come into our opening tag, we can add, let's say, our title again, and then that's our attribute name, and then our value. This is our paragraph. And then refresh. Control S to save, or come up here and say refresh. And then if you come here, there should be a box here which is saying this is our paragraph, and then about our company. So that's how you add an attribute. Let's just see, let's just add a title, another title on here, and then follow us on social media. Control S to save, or come there and save, and then refresh. And then if you come here, there's a box there, follow us on social media. So that's how you add attribute to your element, and then this is how you actually link it. One thing you need to know, whenever you are dealing with ring, you just have to add an href, and then in between that, that's where you write your link. As you can see, an opening link tag, and then href, and then everything. This is the link to our Instagram page. So that's how you create, and then add an attribute which is a target. If you want, once a person click on that link, you want them to open a new tab, and then your website will still be open. So you don't want them to leave your website and then go to our website and then leave your website. You want to have your website still open so that they can come back to it and then open that link to a different tab. So you add an attribute of target, and then an attribute value of blank. So yeah, that's how you actually deal with links and attribute. But yeah, I hope that was clear, and I hope you learned something. If you find this video interesting, please make sure that you give it a thumbs up, and leave me a comment down below. And if you are new, make sure you subscribe. So yeah, that's it for this tutorial. I will see you guys in the next one. I'm out.